Day 1. Why you still can't speak English, the real silent barrier. Hello, and welcome to Day 1 of our 30-day English speaking challenge. I am so happy you are here. If you have clicked on this video, I know your story. You are a hard worker. You have spent years studying English. You know the vocabulary. You understand complex grammar rules. Perhaps you even scored well on a written test. But when a native speaker asks you a simple question, the words disappear. Your mind goes completely silent. You feel frustration. You feel embarrassed. You think, why can't I speak English fluently, even after all this time? Today, we are going to talk about the answer. The real reason is not your vocabulary. It is not your grammar book. The real reason is what we call the silent barrier. The core idea of our challenge is to defeat something we call the silent barrier. This is the key concept you must understand today. What is the silent barrier? The silent barrier is the invisible wall between knowing English and using English. It is the space between the vocabulary stored passively in your head and the words that come out actively from your mouth. You see, your mind has been trained to be an excellent English reader and translator. When you read a sentence, your mind performs a simple task. It sees the word and confirms, yes, I know that word. This is your passive knowledge. It is easy and it requires little energy. The two muscles analogy. Now, imagine your brain has two distinct muscles for language. The understanding muscle. It is also called your passive knowledge. This is the muscle you use when you are reading, listening, or solving a grammar quiz. It is strong, well exercised, and very fast at decoding information. This muscle is proof you already know a lot of English. This muscle shines when you are receiving English, not creating it. Think of it like a library. The books are all about your English knowledge, vocabulary, grammar, rules. The understanding muscle is the fast, organized librarian who knows exactly where all the books are located. It quickly recognizes and confirms the meaning of a word you see. Example 1. Vocabulary. This example illustrates how powerful your understanding is with vocabulary. When you read the word simultaneously, your brain confirms its meaning at the same time, almost instantly. This process is incredibly fast, but it is passive recognition. Your muscles only needed to see the word and decode its meaning. It didn't have to create the sound or structure, a sentence around it. You succeeded because the word was already present on the page, allowing your brain time to search and confirm its definition without the pressure of speaking. This proves the knowledge is there, stored safely, but not yet ready for immediate, active use. Example 2. Context. This specific example shows how skilled your understanding muscle is at decoding context. When you read the sentence, despite the rain, the picnic was still a blast. Your brain doesn't just see the word blast and think of an explosion. Instead, the understanding muscle uses the surrounding words, despite the rain and picnic, to quickly determine the correct meaning. It figures out that a blast is an idiom meaning a great time. This shows how fast and effective your mind is at passively pulling knowledge together to correctly understand a difficult phrase. Proving your reading comprehension is strong. It confirms that you have a wealth of stored knowledge, even for complex phrases. When you listen, this muscle effortlessly tracks the grammar and flow, even when it's spoken quickly. Example 3. Grammar. This example perfectly shows how your understanding muscle processes complex grammar while listening. When you hear a native speaker say, "If I had studied harder, I would have passed the exam," your brain instantly understands the entire message. The speaker has regret about the past. Your understanding muscle does this without needing to stop and think. That is the third conditional formula. It simply recognizes the structure, the use of had plus the past participle and decodes the meaning automatically. This fast, automatic understanding proves that your passive knowledge of advanced English grammar is strong and quick. Even though the sentence talks about the past using the helping verb had. Example 4. Pronunciation. This example highlights how your understanding muscle prioritizes meaning over slight variations in pronunciation. If you hear the word schedule pronounced in two different ways, such as schedule, common in American English, or schedule, common in British English, your muscles don't get confused. It instantly recognizes both sounds as the same correct word, because its only job is to decode the meaning. Since this muscle is focused on understanding, it easily overlooks small pronunciation differences, allowing you to successfully grasp the message. This confirms your listening comprehension is flexible and strong, proving your knowledge is powerful even with different accents. The understanding muscle is also the part that helps you master written exams. Example 5. Multiple choice. This example shows the power of your understanding muscle during a test. Imagine you see a multiple choice question on a grammar exam. You have to select the correct verb form. She has been working here for 5 years. You choose this answer easily, not because you spoke it, but because your brain's understanding muscle quickly reads the choices and recognizes the perfect grammatical fit, the present perfect continuous. This muscle has the luxury of time to check the rule for the duration of the action for 5 years and decode the answer correctly. It is a fantastic skill, but it is a slow, passive action that is different from the automatic speed needed for real conversation. Do you know what the problem is? The understanding muscle is fantastic at knowing, but it's very slow at doing. When you need to speak, you don't have time for the librarian to look up the word. You need the word to jump directly from the shelf to your mouth. This immediate action is the job of the speaking muscle, which we will train during our 30-day challenge. You already have the knowledge. Now, we just need to teach your mouth how to use it automatically. This is part 1. Now, we will discuss part 2, which is about the flow of speaking English, the speaking muscle. Now we must talk about the muscle we are here to train, the speaking muscle. This is the muscle responsible for rapid-fire creation. It makes English come out automatically. It handles the entire physical process of output. When this muscle is strong, it takes over the physical movement of your mouth. It correctly handles the rhythm and stress of the words, and ensures the immediate recall of a word without stopping to check the grammar rules first. It is the muscle that allows you to say, "I'm going to the store now," without mentally translating or reviewing the structure of the future tense. It makes English fluent and effortless. Our goal for the next 30 days is to make this muscle stronger than the silent barrier. For years, you have only trained the understanding muscle. The speaking muscle, however, has been neglected. It is weak and untrained. When you try to speak, your brain panics because the speaking muscle is too slow, causing you to freeze, search for the perfect word, and ultimately stop. This moment of freezing, searching, and panicking is the silent barrier. The silent barrier is made worse by the translation trap. When you try to speak, you force the understanding muscle to do the work of the speaking muscle. It works like this. You have a thought in your native language. You mentally translate the thought into English. You check the grammar rules for the translated sentence. Finally, you try to say the sentence out loud. This process is slow and clumsy. You have to move on. Shatter the barriers. For the next 30 days, we must shift our training. We must intentionally train the speaking muscle to be strong and automatic. We will move the words you already know from your slow, passive knowledge to your fast, active knowledge. This is our focus. We are not learning new English. We are not about learning new words. We are learning to use the English we already possess. It is about activating the words you already know. Dear learners, our first and most important step in this challenge is a commitment. If you are ready to move from silence to speech, stop the video for a moment. Find a piece of paper. Write down this promise. I will speak English for at least 15 minutes every single day for the next 30 days. Write it down now. This commitment is the key that unlocks the next 30 days. Phase 1. Understanding. Your goal, the S.P.E.A.K.Framework. A successful journey always begins with a good map. If you start traveling without knowing your destination, you will waste time and lose motivation. Your daily goal for this challenge is exactly like that map. It tells you precisely where you are going each day. To make sure your goals are effective, simple, and truly move you from silence to speech, we will use a special, easy-to-remember plan called the S.P.E.A.K. Framework for setting your daily task. The entire S.P.E.A.K. framework for setting powerful daily goals. By making your practice specific, physical, focused on effort, always in English, and approached with kindness, you guarantee that every minute you spend is directly strengthening your speaking muscle. This framework guarantees that you are always training your speaking muscle and never falling back into the old habits of silent study. Now, let us look closely at what each letter of the S.P.E.A.K. framework means and how you can apply it today. 1. S for specific and simple, making your goal clear and measurable. The S stands for specific and simple because your daily goal must be crystal clear. We need to stop unclear ideas. A successful speaking goal is like a simple command you give your speaking muscle. It tells you exactly what to do and when to stop. It shows clear indications. For example, the unclear idea is, I will try to practice asking questions, and a specific goal is, I will write and ask 5 questions about my weekend plans, and then record myself speaking the answers for 1 minute. By adding a clear action, ask and record, a number 5 questions, and a simple topic, you guarantee success every day, which is the fastest way to build your confidence and strengthen that crucial speaking muscle. 2. P for practical and physical. Ensuring the goal involves speaking out loud. The letter P stands for practical and physical. This step is important because it reminds you that speaking is not just a mental exercise. It is a physical workout for your mouth muscles. Your speaking muscle must be trained to coordinate your tongue, lips, and breath quickly. Reading silently and listening quietly do not train these muscles. Therefore, your goal must always be a practical action that involves creating sound. Practical actions to focus on. Read aloud. Don't just read an English sentence in your mind. Read it out loud. Repeat a phrase immediately after a native speaker to copy the speed and rhythm. Describe. Talk out loud about an object in front of you. If your daily goal for this challenge doesn't require you to make noise and move your mouth, it is not helping you break the silent barrier. We need to use our voice every single day to make our speaking muscles strong and fast. 3. E for effort, not outcome. Focusing on the practice, not perfection. The letter E stands for effort, not outcome. This is the most important step for defeating the perfection trap and keeping your motivation high. When you practice, You must focus only on the action and ignore the mistakes. Your goal is not to sound perfect. Your goal is to complete the task. For example, if your specific goal is to speak for 3 minutes and you pause 10 times, forget a word, and misuse a verb tense, you still succeeded. Why? Because you put in the effort to keep your mouth moving and finish the 3 minutes. The mistakes you made are just feedback for your next practice session. We focus on effort because effort is what builds the speaking muscle. Outcome perfection is the result of many, many days of consistent effort. Be proud that you showed up and tried, regardless of how your English sounded. This is the effort, the step where you come near to speak, and try to practice this daily to master the 30-day challenge of speaking English. 4A. Always in English, reducing translation and promoting thinking in English. The letter A stands for always in English, because our goal is to completely stop the habit of translating everything in your mind. Every time you try to speak, your brain currently runs a slow, 3-step process. 1. Native language thought. Point 2. Translation into English. 3. Speaking English sentences. This delay is the primary cause of the silent barrier. To fix this, your daily task must be designed to force your brain to bypass the middle step. If you forget an English word during practice, do not switch back to your native language. Instead, challenge yourself to explain the idea using other simple English words you already know. By consistently attempting to think and speak solely in English, you train your brain to go directly from thought to fluent speech. This is the central rule of this challenge. We must reduce the time we spend translating. When you practice, force your brain to go directly from thought to speaking in English. Even if the thought is simple, keep it in the target language. 5K for kindness to yourself. Maintaining motivation and positive self-talk. Be kind to yourself. If you miss a word, do not criticize yourself. Say, that word will come tomorrow, and continue speaking now. You have the need for a self-check. After your daily practice, ask yourself, did I try to speak? Yes or no, did I try to stop translating? Yes or no, did I keep going even when it was hard? Yes or no. If your answer is yes to all 3 questions, then congratulations. You have succeeded for day 1. Here is the very important point to know. The root cause of the silent barrier. Let's dive deeper into what creates the silent barrier. So, we know exactly what we are fighting against. For the next 30 days, many learners fall into the perfection trap. They believe they must have perfect grammar and perfect pronunciation before they can speak. This is impossible. Think of a baby. Does a baby wait until it can form a perfect sentence to speak? No, a baby makes sounds, then words, then simple sentences, and finally, complex speech in English. A speaker who makes many mistakes but is actively talking is improving much faster than a person who stays silent, waiting for perfection. You must give yourself permission to be imperfect. During this challenge, mistakes are not failures. They are simply proof that your speaking muscle is actively getting its essential daily workout action to break the perfection trap. Today, your grammar level is irrelevant. Your only goal is communication. Say the simple thing, say the imperfect thing, but say it lack of immediate recall, the word search. Your brain stores 2 types of vocabulary. 1. Passive vocabulary. Words you understand when you read them. 2. Active vocabulary. Words that come out of your mouth instantly. The silent barrier exists because your passive vocabulary is large, but your active vocabulary is small. When you need a word, your brain runs a slow word search, and the conversation moves too fast. Action to increase active vocabulary. Repetition out loud in this challenge. We will use the same vocabulary in different ways. We repeat phrases and sentences until they become automatic, till they move from your passive memory to your active memory. Speaking a new language is also about physical mechanics. Your tongue, your teeth, and your jaw must be trained to make sounds they are not used to making. This is why shadowing practice is so crucial. When you repeat a sentence after a native speaker, you are physically training your mouth. To cure the silent barrier, you need low-stakes practice. This means practicing where failure is impossible and nobody is judging you. This is why, for the first week, we focus on speaking to yourself, recording your voice, or talking to the mirror. This builds the strength of the speaking muscle in a safe environment. Day 1 practical task. Start building the muscle. Your practical task for day 1 is divided into 3 simple steps. You need only 15 minutes of uninterrupted time. Step 1. The 1-minute mirror talk. 5 minutes. 1. Find a mirror. Stand directly in front of it. Point 2. Set a timer for 60 seconds. 3. Describe one object in the room. It can be your coffee cup, your phone, or a book. 4. Speak for the full 60 seconds without stopping. 5. If you forget a word, simply say, "Let me see," and then continue speaking. Do not stop. Do not translate. Do not be discouraged. Start practice from simple words, from simple things. Read the sample text aloud. This is a book. It is very old. It has a red cover. I think the paper is yellow now. I am reading this book. It is about a mystery. I like mystery stories. They make me think. I read this book before I go to sleep. I keep it next to my bed. Step 2. The 90-second recording. 5 minutes. 1. Open your phone's voice recorder. 2. Set a timer for 90 seconds. 3. Talk about your goal for the next 30 days. 4. You must use the phrase, "I want to," at least 5 times. 5. Listen back. Listen to your recording. Do not judge the accent or the mistakes. Only notice one thing you said clearly and one word you stumbled on. Step 3. The daily affirmation. 5 minutes of reading and repeating. We end day 1 by reinforcing our mindset. Read and repeat these sentences out loud. Repeat this sentence by sentence. My speaking muscles are getting stronger. I will not be silent. I choose to speak now. I give myself permission to make mistakes. The effort I put in today will lead to fluency tomorrow. I am a confident English speaker. You have completed your first and most difficult day. Set your goal. You have faced the silent barrier head on. Do not be discouraged if your speaking feels awkward today. Remember, awkward is the feeling of a new skill beginning to form. If you follow the plan we will lay out on day 2, your speaking muscle will grow stronger every day. In 30 days, your current silence will be replaced with confidence to show your commitment. I want you to do 3 things right now. 1. Like this video to commit to the 30-day challenge. 2. Subscribe to English eStory 365 so you do not miss day 2 tomorrow. 3. Leave a comment below with your specific 90-second topic from your recording. For example, my topic was my love for coffee. That is the entire S.P.E.A.K. framework for setting powerful daily goals. By making your practice specific, physical, focused on effort, always in English, and approached with kindness, You guarantee that every minute you spend is directly strengthening your speaking muscle. You now have the map for our 30-day journey. Use these 5 simple steps to plan your practice today. And be proud of every sound you make. Let's conquer the silent barrier together. Thank you for your effort today. I will see you tomorrow for day 2 to the 20-minute routine that forces you to speak English today. Keep practicing. Keep speaking. Your journey to fluency has begun.